Okay, so I've got Arizona Cardinals depth chart breakdown. So I'll just go through the roster, give my thoughts, and kind of see who's gonna start each position. So the receiver position for the Cardinals is pretty strong. Like you got DeAndre Hopkins. He's a very good receiver. Your number one receiver. I kind of wish they use him in a bit like of a bigger role instead of just sticking him to one side, like moving him all around the place. Like hopefully they'll do that more next year. I would like that. And this thing's just gonna go white all the time, like the screen, because I don't really know what's happening. But and then the other receiver, AJ Green. I'm not a big fan of AJ Green. He just can't really get separation anymore. I don't know how good he's gonna be. I mean, you've got DeAndre Hopkins who gets separation, but then you got AJ Green, another big receiver that kind of needed more speed, not a jump ball, red zone only, aging receiver. So I didn't really like the pickup of AJ Green. And then their third receiver is probably Christian Kirk in the slot, to be honest. But they did draft Rondell Moore, who I think can definitely play in the slot. I wouldn't be surprised if he started there. But he's just a bit raw at the receiver position. So I think Christian Kirk just more of a veteran player. But Rondell Moore, like still being the fourth receiver, he'll still get a lot of snaps, like throwing screens and stuff and giving the ball in the backfield because he can just make people miss because that's how good he really is as a player. I think he can be like even if he doesn't really turn into an amazing route runner, he can just get run after catch yards and pretty built player. And then the other receivers like Andy Isabella, that's kind of the only other receiver, just kind of vertical threat, but he's like the fifth receiver now on their team. And then offensive line. Oh, I honestly hate my laptop. I'm gonna have to figure something else out after this one, cause this happens all the time and it's actually really frustrating. So just if you're watching, just skip ahead. And then DJ Humphries, left tackle. Yeah, that's fine. He can start there. He actually started to play better this year. Like before this year and last year, he was just not that good, and then he's really stepped it up. So that's pretty good left tackle. I also like Josh Jones, who they drafted last year. I think he's probably not going to start this year, but it's a good backup if injuries happen, and he can come in maybe a couple of years and be the future star. And then Justin Pugh as the left tackle. He's all right. Like their offensive line isn't really elite. They just got all right players. Like Justin Pugh, he can still play. I just said Pooh. He can still play. So I don't mind that Justin Pugh there. It's not horrible. And they did trade for Rodney Hudson, which is a very good pickup. He's a really good center, man. One of the best centers in the league. He is a bit older, but still playing at a really high level. So I do like Rodney Hudson at that center position. They also drafted or picked up Michael Menet, who's a decent center, can also play guard. So that just gives you more depth and versatility. And then also Brian Winters. That's probably their biggest weak point, to be honest, on the O line. Like Brian Winters just isn't really an amazing player, just older, just not amazing. And then Calvin Beecham, he's actually pretty decent now. Surprisingly, he just wasn't really amazing his whole career, and then comes to Arizona is actually pretty decent. So that's all right for your right tackle. Like their O line is not bad, but definitely if they come against like elite pass rush groups, they will probably lose. But against like average teams, then they're all right. And then tight end Max Williams, yeah, more of a blocking tight end. Doesn't offer you much, but he's still decent. I guess not a horrible position. I mean, their tight end groups is really trash, to be honest. Like Daryl Daniels, not amazing. He's all right. And there's not really anybody else. Like Carrie Angeline, probably be their third tight end. He's okay. I mean, the tight end class this year just wasn't that good. So he's probably not amazing. And then quarterback, Kyla Murray, of course. I think he needs to make a big step up this year. Like, I don't want to say he's been underwhelming because he's not been that bad. But if he has a bad year this year, then I don't know. I'm just saying the Cardinals could definitely be thinking about moving on. Because, I mean, if he's not getting it done, then they really want to win now. So they did bring in Colt McCoy. That's a good backup, good veteran. Can maybe teach Kyler Murray some stuff. I mean, not like he's a better quarterback than Kyla Murray, just a good veteran. Chris Streveler and Cole McDonald, kind of nobodies. Probably Cole McDonald stay on the practice squad again. And then running back Chase Edmonds, he'll probably be their starter next year. I quite like Chase Edmonds. More of a shifty back, good pass catcher. And they also got James Conner, who can kind of be more of that bigger back, red zone, third down. Not really a speed threat, but he was good. Like if their O line is good next year, which I think they can be, like they're not a horrible offensive line, probably better than what the Steelers would be. I think James Conner can be pretty productive, and he signed a pretty cheap contract also, so I think it could work out with him there. And James Conner going to the Cardinals, so I did like that pickup. And Chase Edmonds also, yeah, he'll probably be their starter, but they'll probably split snaps. Benjamin I quite like. He came out last year. He could probably get some more snaps being that third running back. I don't think Jonathan Ward would be. Probably Benjamin. And then the defense, Zach Allen, defense tackle, not amazing. To be honest, their interior defensive line is not amazing. Kind of the edge rushers. Lecky Photo actually has a run stopping big nose tackles all right. He could definitely get better. We also got Jordan Phillips. We probably play more of defensive tackle. He's probably their best interior player out of the bunch. Like, it's very thin, to be honest. But Jordan Phillips is a pretty decent player. Nothing special. They don't got any really amazing players. Like Michael Doge, just a rotational player, doesn't really offer that much. So their interior defensive line could definitely get picked on a bit in the running game. But then you got J.J. Watt at defensive end. He can also play in the inside at points also. I mean, even Rashad Lawrence is kind of more of a defensive tackle here. He's a bit bigger. The same with J.J. Watt. Like, J.J. Watt could play D-tackle at points. But we'll probably rush off the edge with Chandler Jones on the other side, who's a very good pass rusher. Like, if both these dudes, J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, stay healthy, then that'll be a very good edge rusher group. But it all depends on if they're healthy. Like, Chandler Jones wasn't healthy last year. J.J. Watt was healthy last year, but he hasn't been healthy the past few years. So it's like their season kind of depends on Kyla Murray taking a step up in these edge rushers and just everybody just not getting injured. And then Dennis Gardic was actually good last year at points when he came in. Like, I think he had like 5 or something sacks in like a very short amount of games. So that's quite promising. They re-signed him also. So as a rotational player, I mean, if somebody goes down with injury, then at least you got somebody that can step in and actually be pretty productive. So I do like that. And then linebacker Isaiah Simmons, yeah, he kind of played a lot of he kind of played box safety, to be honest. But he did play more linebacker also. Like, he kind of bulked up. They definitely bulked him up because he was much bigger, it looked like. So, yeah, Simmons, I think he'd take a step up because, I mean, he was just basically playing a new position last year. He was a very good prospect coming out. So I think second year he could make a big jump and actually be a good player. And then they also drafted Zavin Collins, who'd probably be the other linebacker, but could also be an edge rusher. I think he's like 270 pounds. Like, he could definitely play edge rusher, but they've kind of got their edge rusher, so you'd probably play more of the outside linebacker, middle linebacker role. I mean, I don't really know exactly what he'd play because he's very versatile and also pretty good in coverage. So he's a good linebacker. It was a surprising pick at the time. Oh, they also got Marcus Golden. I forgot about that. That's their other edge rush position. Yeah, Marcus Golden on the edge. Decent rotational player. They traded from last year, but he's just going to be a backup. Victor Demukeji, that was a pretty good draft pick. I can't remember when they drafted him. I think it might have been a bit early. But backups for J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. And then they also got Devon Kennard. I don't know how much he really gets playing time. Like, he's kind of gets a bit buried down in the depth chart. I mean, we'll probably play over Victor Demukeji because he's an older player and can still be productive at times. So I don't really know what happens there. But yeah, at the other linebacker, Jordan Hicks, they allowed him to seek trade. So they clearly are trying to roll with Zavin Collins, Isaiah Simmons. And Jordan Hicks is actually still a pretty decent linebacker, but they've kind of want to go another way, I guess. So they allow him to seek trade. And then the cornerback position. It's a bit thin, to be honest, and a good division also with a lot of good receivers. They might struggle at points, but I do like some of their corners, like Byron Murphy in the slot's good. That's a really good slot corner, so I like that. And then the other corner probably going to be Malcolm Butler on the other side. He played a bit better last year, like near the end of the season, but still not amazing. Like, he will give up some big plays. He's not as good as he was. And then, I mean, Robert Alford, he could definitely be your third corner. He just gets injured a lot, so I kind of doubt it. And Marco Wilson could probably play that third corner, and you just don't really know if Marco Wilson either. If he's having to start, that could be a bit bad because, just rookie corners just doesn't really work very well, so that could be a bit of a bad situation. Lorenzo Burns, probably going to be more of a special teamer. I mean, Jalen Thompson's more of a safety. You could probably play that free safety role. I did like Tay Gowan, actually. I think he could possibly win that third corner. He only really had 1 year of production at UCF because he was at JUCO and then Miami of Ohio. So I actually like Tay Gowan. I think he could beat out Marco Wilson. I honestly think Tay Gowan is a better player than Marco Wilson with just what he has on tape. Like, Marco Wilson just kind of got burned in a lot of points, but also is a really good athlete. But I think Tay Gowan could be a reliable corner in the league. It's just you don't want to throw these rookies out straight away into the flames. That just won't be amazing. And then the other positions, I mean, the other safety, of course, you got Budda Baker. He'll be starting there. Very good free safety. James Wiggins is actually pretty decent draft pick late in the draft. He could definitely get a significant amount of playing time. He could maybe play the strong safety role, but probably Deontay Thompson could play that. Who's their other safety? I mean, their strong safety is not that amazing. Chris Banjo, more of a special teamer. Sean Williams got basically benched last year for Josh Bell. No, Josh Bell. What? Von Bell for the Saints, who came over. He's just not really a good player anymore, to be honest. He's a veteran defensive back. So I like their safety group. I think Budda Baker just makes it good. The rest of the safeties, not really amazing. I do like some of their corners, like Tay Gowan. But that's kind of it. And special teams, I mean, Matt Prater, yeah. He's still pretty decent. They also got Mike Nugent, who actually wasn't horrible, to be honest. But Matt Prater is probably going to win that. And then Andy Lee, just freaking 40-year-old punter, okay? I think he's 39, but very old. So that's the Cardinals roster. I mean, I don't know how they win the division. They could have a bad season or they could have a good season, depending on, I mean, just stuff has to go their way, like injuries can't happen, just a bunch of stuff. So it's very complicated for the Cardinals. We'll just have to see. So that's kind of it, and bye.